Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Tune rush now coming on. Sound Barrier going to be invested. Artillery strike comes through, but Firelord's taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well and gonna find not two.
Winber Area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber Area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding it down as they were able to beat Forest Hills by a score of 2-0. And it was Death, proving that the Fist of Doom is not to be slept on. 27 elimination, 26k damage, and 33k mitigated damage as well. Talk about leading the charge from the front.
Forest Hills can rotate onto the point, rotate in and rotate and take the point away, but I keep punch. Death!
Oh, what a punch from Death!
My goodness, what a play!
And in Division 2, it was Westmont Hilltop on top as they were able to take down Richland in 2 straight maps. Gotta give a big shout out to Monkey, another tank with an MVP performance with a flawless series, 16 eliminations and 0 deaths.
EMPs onto Sands, EMP now online, comboed with the Death Awesome, it could be all 5.
Hopefully so. Detected and in with the EMP. Death Blossom finds everybody. Johnstown.
And Forest Hills were able to bounce back from a loss in their previous week to a dominant showing against Greater Johnstown. And it was Toasty Boy putting in that work. 31 eliminations and only 5 deaths as Forest Hills moves to 3-1 on the spring. And wrapping up our D2 action, it was Ferndale making light work of Moshannon Valley. And it was Astro doing it all. 28 eliminations, 7 deaths, 19k damage, and 20k healing. I'm not sure what kind of cookies Astro had in their backpack, but really putting the team on their back as Ferndale moved to 2-2. Now that we've seen how last week's action broke down, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's moved up, down, or out of our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. And y'all know we can't leave out Division 2 squads. Here's the power rankings for our D2 teams. And let's go ahead and take a look at those overall standings for Division 1 Overwatch so far. And let's go ahead and take a look in on Division 2 as well. Now, if there's a particular matchup that you're looking for, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for week number 5 so that we can make sure that we got y'all in the right spot to catch the action live. My matchup to watch this week is a battle of top 5 teams as we have Winber Area taking on Forest Hills. And we're starting up the second half of our spring semester. It's time for week number 5. Good luck to all of our competitors out there. And don't forget that we've got more content than ever coming y'all's way over on social media as well as over on YouTube. Top 5 plays have been spicy this year. So make sure you're getting involved, smacking the like button, leaving a comment, and don't forget to tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out. Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Tune rush now coming on. Sound barrier going to be invested. Artillery strike comes through, but Firelord's taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well and gonna find not to.
Winber area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding it down as they were able to beat Forest Hills by a score of 2-0. And it was Death, proving that the Fist of Doom is not to be slept on. 27 elimination, 26k damage, and 33k mitigated damage as well. Talk about leading the charge from the front.
Forest Hills can rotate onto the point, rotate in and rotate and take the point away, but I keep charge. Death!
Oh, what a punch from Death!
My goodness, what a play!
And in Division 2, it was Westmont Hilltop on top as they were able to take down Richland in 2 straight maps. Got to give a big shout out to Monkey, another tank with an MVP performance with a flawless series, 16 eliminations and 0 deaths.
EMPs onto Sands, EMP now online, comboed with the Death Blossom, it could be all 5.
Hopefully so. Detected and in with the EMP. Death Blossom finds everybody. Johnstown!
And Forest Hills were able to bounce back from a loss in their previous week to a dominant showing against Greater Johnstown. And it was Toasty Boy putting in that work. 31 eliminations and only 5 deaths as Forest Hills moves to 3-1 on the spring. And wrapping up our D2 action, it was Ferndale making light work of Moshannon Valley. And it was Astro doing it all. 28 eliminations, 7 deaths, 19k damage, and 20k healing. I'm not sure what kind of cookies Astro had in their backpack, but really putting the team on their back as Ferndale moved to 2-2. Now that we've seen how last week's action broke down, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's moved up, down, or out of our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. And y'all know we can't leave out Division 2 squads. Here's the power rankings for our D2 teams. And let's go ahead and take a look at those overall standings for Division 1 Overwatch so far. And let's go ahead and take a look in on Division 2 as well. Now, if there's a particular matchup that you're looking for, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for week number 5 so that we can make sure that we got y'all in the right spot to catch the action live. My matchup to watch this week is a battle of top 5 teams as we have Winber Area taking on Forest Hills. And we're starting up the second half of our spring semester. It's time for week number 5. Good luck to all of our competitors out there. And don't forget that we've got more content than ever coming y'all's way over on social media as well as over on YouTube. Top 5 plays have been spicy this year. So make sure you're getting involved, smacking the like button, leaving a comment, and don't forget to tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out. Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Here with the 2-A rush now coming on. Sound Barrier going to be invested. Artillery strike comes through, but Firelord's taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well and gonna find not two.
Winber Area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber Area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding
separate Thrasher out from the rest of Penn Trafford. But other than that, I don't really know what they can really do right now.
What the answer is going to be, honestly, of course, even if you lose this first one for Bishop Guilfoyle, is still that at least second guaranteed map. This one, though, a little bit different, has a little bit more of that terrain coverage to enter inside of the point, but less of that coverage in the mid-center. So have to be a little bit careful. Thrasher, though, is immediately going in.
Yeah, already going in, and well, gonna be forced out for the moment, but Blue Boy has already been taken out. Hacked up, though. Thrasher needs to be dealt with in the midst of that, but that's just not gonna happen right now. Rest of the team gonna find the picks, period. Finds two.
I really like how they have this kind of split up composition where you have the Tracer, you have the Doomfist. It can attack you from so many different angles, and if you're not careful, that Mei wall has separated the opposing team so many times. It is going to be the Reaper to try and do some heavy damage at close range. I could see it working out, but they have to get out of their spawn here.
Yeah, they do indeed. They really do. But now the rotation is going to come in. They're trying to take Thrasher out, who's all the way in the back line of the remaining members of Bishop Guilfoyle. Able to get back to the point, though, with a nice little bit of attack, but it is going to be forked out. No, they're still alive. Going to get the punch, get the overhealth for the moment. They're getting chased down by the remaining members. And finally, Thrasher going down. The first death of this map this match so far for Thrasher. And now Soul Cypher has swapped over to the Reaper, but it's not going to work out for them right now, as Fury has already found them out. In the meanwhile, still, they're trying to push in. They've got this Terra Surge available. Pulse Bomb came out, though, but nothing is still going in. Terra Surge is there, and Thrasher off the side of the map is Soundbear coming in, as well as the Coalescence from both of the Moiras. But hacked out was Unknown Roses in the meanwhile. Ice Block forced in. This is a perfect chance for Bishop Guilfoyle to take this point, but they've lost Braden. Now they just need to find someone, and they're going to be able to find Coops, which is a big pick indeed. Soul Cypher now gone, though, so this is not the end-all be-all, especially with Thrasher already back from spawn, finding the supports out, and it's just Mighty Knight left now.
And they find the timing to get Thrasher back into this fight. And Peridot especially was doing so much damage in towards the backline. Coop survives, keeps the point alive, and now it's 90%. It's up towards being pretty much one more fight for Bishop Guilfoyle. You got to send everything forward if you can, and a Meteor Strike is going straight to your backline.
In the back line, there comes the Meteor Strike out back to the point, as Braden is going to find Coops with the Virus, though. It's a nice little play coming in. They still have to find more picks, as the Translocator was forced out by Period's Pulse Bomb, and are still going to be able to find Braden, as Mighty Nate made the swap over to the Wrecking Ball, but that's just not going to really be enough sustainability on the point, as Mighty Nate is so low right now, and they're just going to be dealt with. Thrasher just continuing to thrash Bishop Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle going to fall on this second round. Penn Trafford going to be able to take not only the round, but also the first map as well. But we will get to see the play of the game here at the end of the first one. And of course, who other than Thrasher was having such a good map for themselves, was able to jump to the backline so many times. But this play specifically to start out, be down to about 50 HP, get that reset, and then that sound barrier to get that follow-up re-engage.
Yeah, Thrasher is... it needs to be stopped if you are Bishop Guilfoyle, like yesterday, really. And hopefully they'll be able to figure that out. Like I said, I did like to swap over to the Orisa, but the main thing is you need to be able to collapse when that Orisa is able to land that Javelin throw onto Thrasher, and then and with that Sombra that Braden was trying to use to get that hack, get that Virus, and then you need to be able to follow up on that. And that's the big thing we need to look for from Bishop Guilfoyle going forward into this next map.
Gotta find those follow-ups. They gotta find a way to deal with these flanking players. It seems so tough to deal with the dive, to deal with the Tracer, to deal with the Doomfist all at once. And then when the team fight collapses and you put your Orisa towards the Doomfist, well, then you got a Mei just spraying you down at close range as well. So it's been really good for Penn Trafford in this first map. Of course, now we get to go towards the second one. We get to change up the modes a little bit. And maybe Bishop Guilfoyle, maybe Control isn't your mode. Maybe you're only good on Escort. And the good news is, well, you got Escort coming up next.
Yeah, no, I really like, this is good for the next team. I mean, for Bishop Guilfoyle, obviously, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to run the Doomfist for
That's true.
for Penn Trafford here. It won't be impossible, and it'll still work decently well. But the Orisa a little bit better. If that's what we're going to be sticking with. If Bishop Guilfoyle also do so choose, they can go for maybe a Sigma, go for a Ramatra as well, which could be a very good choice to help counter out and poke from long range as well.
Like the poke from long range. I think specifically you mentioned heroes on this map, specifically of Shambali, with barriers. Very strong to get yourself around those corners. Some of those longer angles, you want to have that barrier as well so you can push up forward. And we often see some teams, sometimes they allow the cart to push forward and then they take the team fight directly after. So that cart provides you a little bit of extra cover as well to get around some of these corners. So we will see how they play it. Of course, for Bishop Guilfoyle, you are starting on the defensive side. They will play on offense and switch sides after they finish this, but you got to play some good defense here.
You really do. You really do indeed, because you really want to set yourselves up for a good offensive part for yourself. Interestingly enough, I don't like this comp at all, Llama, from Bishop Guilfoyle. I mean, no, I won't say that. I don't like the wrecking ball at all. It's just not something you're seeing right now, and we'll see how it works for him. Yeah, Thrasher is going to be going in, looking for the shots, looking for the punch into the backline. Thrasher is already rogue. So is Basement. If they can find that pick on a Lucio, that'd be huge. Lucio is so crucial right now in this current iteration of Overwatch, but they aren't able to follow him up, and well, maybe not. Blue Boy is going to be able to take down Unknown Roses, but then the picks just keep going in the way of Penn Trafford. We need to see some swaps probably come out from Bishop Guilfoyle here.
Yeah, they probably have to change up some of those heroes. You mentioned the Lucio. Basin was actually able to start and initiate that fight by getting a pick. Of course, I'm not a fan of the Wrecking Ball too much either. Again, a lot more for just stalling out on point than actually popping out that utility. So it's just going to be pushed back towards the spawn. And of course, mentioning the spawn advantage going towards the attacking side here of Penn Trafford. Because they took a couple down early, you notice Bishop Guilfoyle, they had to wait for everybody to get back. And Thrasher is taking so much space so they can push the payload.
Yeah, you cannot be letting Thrasher take all this space, and they're going to be able to take down Soul Safer because the healing just wasn't there in time. And that's going to be the first point going their way. 5 minutes and 6 seconds already on the board, and the Pulse Bomb going to come through, and that's just going to be another free fight win for Penn Trafford off of not just Thrasher this time, but period as well.
Thrasher having an absolute game for themselves is going to be just the tank push back. And again, it's not even really a full team fight right now that Thrasher is pushing forward, taking the space, but they've left 2 players on that payload for pretty much what seems like the entirety of this attacking half for Penn Trafford. They are going to go up here continually pushing, and they got a lot of time on the board, like you mentioned, Joker.
Yeah, a lot of time, and well, it doesn't look to be stopping any time yet. It's still trying to make this Wrecking Ball work, and hopefully they'll figure it out here soon. But right now, I mean, Thrasher's just going to get in. They're going to be punching away Soul Safer, but they might be able to get Thrasher out. 25 HP, and Brayden is going to be able to get them with the grasp, taking them down. Soundbear has been invested in. Mighty Nate's going to invest that minefield on the point in the meanwhile, and they've already found the picks, and that might be their first fight win that they've been desperately looking for, especially if they can find out Coops.
It was really nice too that not only did they win the fight, but it was off of a sound barrier from the other side. So able to get one of those big ultimates that we've seen Penn Trafford use before to win these team fights. However, it's just been so good that they've always been able to keep somebody alive for Penn Trafford. You're seeing Coops using the Ice Cube form, been able to get their team back, and now Thrasher is here and they can take a full 5v5.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to go off the back of the ooh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Coming in, Soul Safer trying to use that tactical visor, but got frozen up into an icicle by the Blizzard. As Coops is that's all really that Penn Trafford's going to need, as well as that Pulse Bomb that we saw from Period, and that is going to be the fight done.
Done and dusted. Love that blizzard. It was absolutely perfect, like you mentioned. Not only to get so much damage, but also shut down the ultimates on the other side. Probably is going to be the second checkpoint acquired here for Penn Trafford, giving themselves even more time to try and close out this attacking half. Like we said, we'll still have to play defense for themselves, but pushing forward, getting the extra time, and now they're ready to take a team fight again.
Yeah, I've taken the fight already, and and like you said, they've got that second point as well. Thrasher is low again. Need to be able to get that follow-up, but the Meteor Strike is going to get them a little bit more, but the nice play with the total mayhem going to be taking Thrasher down. Coalescence is invested by Brayden, has found out basement. That's all it looks like they're going to be able to find, and Mighty Nate's going to make a swap here. Now going over to the Winston.
A little bit more dive of their own here. We'll have to see. No big ultimates on the defensive side other than that tire. That's the big question I has. If you can get a couple of picks with his tire, you can really start to turn it. However, you are so far away from the rest of them. I mean, you're talking about big ultimates coming up here very soon from Penn Trafford. The sound barrier invested to no avail in that previous team fight is now back up and available.
And Blue Boy already gone and done. Mighty Nate getting frozen up by Coops as well, being pushed away. Unknown Rose is looking for some chip damage and taking things down. Thrasher is going to be able to get Mighty Nate out. Period already has up this Pulse Bomb yet again, but it might just not be needed as Thrasher and Unknown Roses have combined for 3 already. Looking for more going into the spawns here of Bishop Guilfoyle and Basement. Going to be able to take down Blue Boy. Now, we're seeing some more swaps. We're seeing Pierce go over to the Baptiste, but no one's gonna get there in time. Brayden just did not get out of their wraith or their fade in time.
Get out in time, unfortunately. Do gotta say though, man, Penn Trafford just playing with spacing absolutely perfect. Their team fights, just so many abilities to chop it on through. The dive with the Doomfist from Thrasher, there's been absolutely no answer. And now they've got to do it, of course, on the other side. And of course, we always say, Joker, if they can do it, you know, the other team can do it better. So we'll have to see what Bishop Guilfoyle can bring on this offensive side.
Yeah, they've got to really figure it out. I like, again, I liked what they were running more on that second point of Oasis. Now I really like that coming in from Mighty Nate, going on to the Ramatra here. Pearson Blue Boy. I mean, it's not a bad backline. It's not the beginning of season 9 where we were seeing Zenyatta played a lot more. Because, I mean, we've transitioned over to a more speed-based and over-health-based meta. So, again, Mighty Nate onto the Orisa. I mean, if you were watching OWCS, a lot of people were running the Orisa. It was more with Lucio Kiriko than Zen Bab, but still, you can get a lot of damage out with this comp.
Get a lot of damage. I'm just a little bit worried they don't have that barrier like you were talking about with Ramatra. It is going to be the switch up back, so they're going to have to make a very, very good use of these javelin throws. Need to be hitting Thrasher and catching them out. And of course, if you can get a pick early here for Bishop Guilfoyle, you have the spawn advantage. So send everything out, and Thrasher already taken some early damage, but it just seems like Thrasher never dies.
Yeah, it really, oh my goodness, that's just gross. The Empowered Punch just does so much work for Penn Trafford, and Thrasher there is going to be finding only 3 in the fight, but it's the team kill nonetheless.
He'll fall in their way, and importantly, they don't lose anybody either. Like we said, it can really snowball out of control when you do have the spawn disadvantage as that defending side. Thrasher, though, has just been able to find these angles. Even when they are low, they don't care. Into the backline, already taking people down to half and going in for even more.
Yes, Thrasher gonna be able to get away for the moment. Is gonna get the still does not have that Discord orb, but Thrasher is a low, but Brayden is gonna be caught out. Still gonna be able to find that pick though. From the grave with their dynamite onto Unknown Roses, and now this perfect opportunity. The healing that you were so looking for with the Moira no longer there. Could be the way to push in is now. We see Bishop Guilfoyle getting their bodies on the cart and able to move it around now, but you still have to deal with the sound barrier coming in, invested early on from Basement to give the go sign for Penn Trafford with the overclock, finding Pierce out and looking for another pick, but it's just not going to come through. As two have already come in from Bishop Guilfoyle, and a third might come through as well, as Thrasher is so low, and the Terror Surge is now available. Going to be invested into it, but just going to be able to fade away, and no one's going to be got in the midst of it now with the Blizzard coming in. That was a very advantageous Blizzard, especially with the Transcendence available. Meteor Strike coming over the top, but no one's going down. Thrasher is going to be able to take down Braden. Still, they have an opportunity, but the respawns are coming back from Penn Trafford to keep the hold going and holding on to the first point for even longer.
I mean, it's just the delay every single time from Penn Trafford. They started that fight losing two of their players, and the May Coops goes into Ice Cube form. They delay for so much time, and Thrasher doesn't die. They combine the Blizzard, they combine the Meteor Strike, all of the damage is there, and now you look at the time Joker, only about a minute 15, only one ultimate left here for Bishop Guilfoyle, and the backline needs to start to find these picks.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with the backline is they're not able to move as quickly as Penn Trafford's team is able to get onto them, as we've already seen. And they did lose Unknown Roses. They've lost a couple of people, but right now they just can't move quick enough to stay out of the cement mixer that is this Penn Trafford comp.
Trafford keeping the pressure going, and like we said, running out of time here for Bishop Guilfoyle. Have put a couple good team fights on the board, but they're going to have to do something right here at the end. Maybe work with these two big DPS ultimates that they have. Of course, the Maywall is going to delay them for even more, and Thrasher just waiting for their right moment, finding the plays, but actually taken down to start the fight.
Terror Surge came out from Mighty Nate, as well as the Tactical Visor from Soul Cypher. They need to be able to find a pick coming in, but that needs to happen as the Pulse Bomb is out from Period, and they are going to be able to take down Soul Cypher. Soul Cypher is going to be able to take them down with the Ash on the point as well. Coops is going to go down, and they might be able to get this next, or at least the corner here, but they need to find picks off the back of it. Thrasher is back. They've got the Meteor Strike available.
Meteor Strike back, Thrasher is back, and that means it's time for a team fight. The healing is going to try to come out, but right into the back line Thrasher goes. Peridot cleaning it up as well. They've already got two overtime fuse looming large, and with this composition and the players just burning down everybody else, Peridot a triple to end it out. And GG's out in the chat. Penn Trafford take the map.
Yeah, and I think we see something, we saw something from there from Bishop Guilfoyle, and I liked what we were seeing. It was just the wrong execution, right? And I think if they go forward, they go to more what I was talking about, because especially when you're running against Doomfist like Thrasher, you need to be able to be mobile and not going with a stagnant backline like that Baptiste and Zenyatta. If we were going to see what more we were seeing in OWCS and whatnot, with that Kiriko, with that Lucio backline, you're able to get a lot more speed, a lot more utility, and are able to stay alive in those situations. And as well, I mean, it would have helped speed Mighty Nate on that Orisa a lot easier.
Yeah, maybe a different little bit of those swaps. I also think it's just some good experience here for Bishop Guilfoyle. Like you said, they had a couple really good fights. I think a lot of teams in TEC don't actually play towards that dive. So to face that dive here in the regular season, to go back and have those VODs, to be able to learn from it and go into the playoffs with that knowledge, Bishop Guilfoyle might be a newer team, but could be looking to improve and make a run at the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see how these teams evolve going forward into the rest of the season. Like I was saying, though, you just got to be able to clean a couple things up, and things can change drastically for this for that Bishop Guilfoyle squad. And then Penn Trafford, I mean, we don't have to really say much about them. They looked good, they played well, and if they can continue to do so, they're gonna go far. We are gonna head to a break though, as we are going to be going to the next game will be Portage versus Greater Johnstown, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So stick around. It'll be coming to you soon, right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've got a change in schedule here right now. We've got a different matchup. We've got Forest Hills versus Franklin Regional Division 2, and this should be a very good series. I know you were saying something about their the standings there, Llama.
Yeah, both these teams combined only have one loss between them. Franklin Regional absolutely flawless throughout the season so far, 3-0, while Forest Hills at that 3-1 marker. But realistically, these are the teams that are currently sitting at the number 2 and number 3 overall seed. This could realistically be a championship level Division 2 matchup, and one that often could decide your playoff seeding. We see often, Joker, that when you're going into those playoffs, it really matters whether you're up 1 more or up 2 more than your opponents. It can make your route so much easier.
Yeah, especially since the number 1 seed in Division 2 looks to be almost unbeatable at the moment, with Westmont Hilltop not even dropping a single map so far. This is really important. You want to be on that opposite side of the bracket going into playoffs to have a chance at that grand finals and not have to meet Westmont until then. So we'll see how these two teams are going to be undertaking Oasis as our first map.
Important to note, still sticking with that map pool, like you mentioned, for the entirety of today. Of course, best of 3, and starting with Oasis being that control point inside of that own map. So nice stuff here. We'll see a little bit different compositions than we were seeing the first time around, Joker, and some different tanks as well.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Again, previously, we really haven't solidified what tank is the best. We know what the best backline is. Whalrose on this Moira, still very good. It's not Kiriko, but it's still a very good high-tempo tank to go, or sorry, a high-tempo support to go with Night Fury on this Ramatra right now for them. They are going to already push forward into Franklin Regional here, forcing them back as Apollo is quite low. The hack is going to come through as well, but the nice trap is going to stop up Toasty Boy for a second. His Thin Blade, though, is going to take Mateo out of the fight, and Rayon Cran going to go down as well. This should be, yeah, this is going to be Forest Hills taking this first fight.
They absolutely push their way forward. Like you mentioned, not only getting some space onto the point, but also I really love Toasty Boy's positioning, where you're playing with 2 hero tanks that have that barrier to block some damage. So getting around them going to be very, very important. This first fight going to get Forest Hills up to about the 30% marker, but here comes the tank change. Banana Boat going with the DPS man himself.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a bad swap at all. It's not the overtuned Mauga that we saw for a week, but still not bad at all. You're gonna still need the help from your team to get things done. However, as Toasty Boy is on the flank, finding 2 clicks, Rayon Cran and Mateo going down, and Night Fury is very low at the moment. They could have a chance to follow it up, especially with the slam coming through, but Fluffy Jr. going to be taken down in the pummel. Going to find out Banana Boat, and unfortunately, the sound barrier invested a little too late by Apollo, 65 and counting for Forest Hills.
It's exactly as you mentioned, just the sound barrier not able to catch those health bars right at the end. Gotta say, Toasty Boy, instead of playing like kind of in towards the back line, just playing on top of the point, dipping out with those shotguns and getting that close range damage. And now Forest Hills has 5 ultimates to work with. A 3-man hack starts the fight on off, and how it ends, the Immortality Field already taken down. Toasty Boy already going forward, and still 3 more ultimates in the back pocket. 90% for Forest Hills as they hold on to all this space.
Yeah, as they've got to be able to get onto the point here. Llama, those, and they've lost Apollo already, who's made the swap over to the Brigida. Coalescence from Whalrose to really solidify everything. The sound barrier there from Tariff as well, as Toasty Boys going hunting with those Reaper shotguns. There's going to be the cage fight, though, coming out, but they are just not going to be able to do enough. Is Banana Boat, as it is just Apollo left on the point, who swapped back over to the Lucio, and that is going to be that. Round 1 goes to Forest Hills.
About an unfair cage fight, Joker. Man, the Annihilation comes out, the Heal Orb as well, and a really, really good space-taking game once again from Forest Hills. So that round, the first one going to go their way. Of course, on control, have to get 2 of those rounds to solidify yourself in the point. And honestly, I liked that switch up from Banana Boat, but I felt like might have come just a little bit too late.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting swaps being made here now by Franklin Regional. Banana Boat going over to the Zarya, which we've seen somewhat of a resurgence recently. I still wish they were running that Lucio because you need that speed boost. It is just so needed right now.
It's a speed boost meta. Getting to be able to take that space first before your opponents can actually get there is such an advantage to have. We're going to be able to see Forest Hills with that speed boost starting us out. Of course, like we said, for Forest Hills, you take 1 more of these points, the map is over, but they're going to have to be dealing with some skyward pressure with the Pharah pickup from Fluffy.
Yeah, and it should be good since there's no real hit scan on the side of Forest Hills. Thin Blade, well, they are going to be able to get the hack, and the virus is going to come out, but they got to be able to focus down some more. Still, they are going to be using the concussion blast to get some disruption, but right now, Forest Hills still has all the point presence in the world that they need. Toasty Boy, though, very low. Thin Blade looking for the hack, looking for the virus. Not going to find anything, though. So they are going to get detected out. Banana Boat, very high charge, but going to be shot down and taken down by the Fists of Fury by Knight. And now they are going to still keep going forward. Is Forest Hills off the back of Night Fury. And Toasty Boy as well. Keep finding these picks for Forest Hills.
They're going to find the Pharah as well to end that one off. Night Fury are really good on the aim there, but more specifically, like we talked about, it's that speed boost. They push up towards this nice little choke point first, and then as soon as Banana Boat goes down, it's a 5v4, sure, but it's without your tank, and especially with the Pharah up in the air, not a lot of pressure to be had. Forest Hill is going to push out towards this archway, pop their barrier, and look to see if they can hold them here.
Yeah, Banana Boat finding Whale Rose is massive now, but they are going to have to walk into the Annihilation, but Night Fury is not going to have any healing to keep things going their way. Ant Matrix is going to be invested, but not found anything. Virus comes through as well for Forest Hills. They are going to be able to hold on to this for a little bit longer as they wait for the respawns to come back, but this is where Franklin Regional need to go in. They've got the Graviton Surge. This is the perfect opportunity to use it, the perfect opportunity to find something, but still waiting it out, still not finding any openings as they're still waiting. They've got the Zarya back, but Thin Blade's already found Fluffy Jr. out. This might just be a done and dusted fight already, especially with Coalescence being invested. EMP gonna come through. There's the Death Buster for Toasty Boy. Finding 3. Whale Rolls is gonna get gonna take that kill away as well, and that might just be the map going to Forest Hills.
That should realistically be the end, and what a way to just stall. It was off of the beginning of a fight that we saw Franklin able to win, but just the ability to stay on the point, get the tank back, and then pop those ults in succession even when Night Fury was low is going to be Forest Hills' ability to take this map in 2-0 fashion. But we gotta watch the play of the game. I think Night Fury had a fantastic game for themselves, but it's actually near towards the beginning, taking space, and that aim was absolutely fantastic to even take down this Pharah at the end of it.
Oh, yeah, it was great stuff. Night Fury looked really good. Like I said, this is closer. This is the closest we've seen to meta all day coming in from Forest Hills. I'm interested to see how Franklin Regional decide to change things up. How do they match it? I like the Zarya in theory, but they weren't being really able to get the follow-up that they were looking for. You need to be able to keep that Zarya high charged. They weren't really doing that, and especially going into Shambali now, it is going to be a little bit like we saw earlier. There's a long sight line, so I expect them to go back to the Sigma, maybe go over to the Ramatra here.
See if they can switch it on up, maybe go into, like you said, get a little bit more of that barrier protection, see if you can walk your way through those choke points. I think more importantly here for Franklin, just taking those fights a little bit together, that we saw maybe a little bit of split up where if your tank goes in first, if you lose your tank, I mean, it's a pretty obvious fact, you're not going to have a lot of protection, especially for more of those slippery, more carries that are in that back line. So we'll see if the switch ups come through. Either way, we get to go to Shambali. It's one of my favorite escort maps that has a lot of kind of weavable buildings you can sneak behind, and I'm looking at Toasty Boy to see if his Reaper can have effect again.
Yeah, I expect we're going to be sticking with the Toasty Boy Reaper if I would have to guess, and that seems to be the case with Forest Hills defending and already giving us a look at what they're running. No changes from map number 1, but so far we are seeing a couple of swaps come in from Franklin Regional.
Going for the Ramatra match here. They're also going to pull in that Lucio as well to make sure they are going as fast as possible. Now, more importantly here, like we always talk about with Escort, on the attacking side, if you can get a couple early picks, you have that spawn advantage and hopefully you can start to snowball this mode. But Shambali is one of these ones where it is tougher to get past this kind of first choke point, this first corner, so we'll see how they get it done.
Yeah, definitely is. Thin Blade's already gotten a good look at their composition. And, well, again, this is going to be a very interesting... Oh, and yeah, it's just going to be catching Rayon Cran out. But a nice appeal coming in from the rest of Franklin Regional is huge, trying to keep them alive. They are going to be hacked still, but keeping Rayon Cran alive is very crucial at the moment. But the virus is just keep on coming from Thin Blade, not being checked at all really right now. Ravenous Vortex out, but still no one's been found here. Toasty Boy from on high, and Thin Blade is going to be caught out there by a nice play from It's Mateo on the Junkrat, but they still got to find more picks. They are going to be able to hold out here, especially if the pick comes the way of Forest Hills. But Night Fury getting caught up in that trap is just going to allow Franklin to take as much space as they want.
Talk about that spawn advantage. It's really smart actually what Forest Hills do here. They're not going to push all the way back, where if you lose all 5 players, you could actually give up that first full checkpoint. Instead, they're just pushing back a little bit, giving them a tiny bit of space. And you talk about that trap collection from It's Mateo. We'll see if they can find more again. Toasty Boy has been playing those corner angles, and if you can shut down this Reaper, that was a large chunk of damage for Forest Hills in the last map.
Yeah, definitely. As the hack is going to come on to Mateo, but the healing is there as Mateo is going to be able to stay alive. The regroup has come in as the Annihilation has been popped by Banana Boat. Whale Roll is taken down. Night Fury still has an opportunity to use their own Annihilation, but that's just not going to be happening, as all of Franklin Regional are able to find the picks necessary, and they've taken point number 1.
Use that Annihilation to great effect, take their space forward, and just win that one. It's going to give them some extra time here on the clock to keep on pushing forward, and 4.5 minutes is a ton of time here. We'll see how they deal with the verticality of this first to second point. Of course, Night Fury didn't use the Annihilation there at the end, so we'll have that ultimate for possibly this next fight, but that sound barrier from Rayan Cran has a possibility to keep this Franklin Regional squad going for a while.
Yeah, as now, we are going to be able to break out, and this should be where Forest Hills are able to stake their claim. This is a perfect opportunity to do so, especially with the ultimates available, and they're just going to use the EMP going into the Death Blossom. Toasty Boy spinning to win. Yeah, again, Forest Hills are able to start their hold on point number 2, especially if they can get a nice little stagger onto Apollo, but that's not going to happen for the time being.
I think we just witnessed the play of the game. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty clean. 5-man hack into the 3-man Death Blossom. Absolutely beautiful, and now it's gonna be pretty interesting actually for Franklin Regional. You can see it's actually tough for them to push up through this open space. They don't have the payload for protection. They're gonna have to wait for the Ramatra barrier, and they might even have to invest the sound barrier to try and get back to the payload and fight.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to invest in sound barriers. They're going to go on a little journey. Riptire is going to come in from Mateo, though. The sound barrier has been invested as well, and there's the... Oh, wow, the Riptire finds 2! Mateo coming in clutch, and they didn't get an opportunity to invest that Annihilation.
Annihilation for you. Got him down before the fight pretty much could even go. And I like that wraparound play. Like we were saying, you were going to have to invest those ultimates. So the ability to pincer at them from either side is going to get them some space outside of the snowy cave, up the steps. But Night Fury is back with his ultimate.
Yeah, Night Fury have the ultimate as well as the coalescence that Whale Rose has, but they're going to be able to have to stabilize through the blizzard that's going to be coming online from Fluffy Jr. And his has come out, but where did it go? It didn't find anyone. What happened? Is they going to just win this fight off the back of it? I'm just perplexed. What happened to the blizzard?
I don't know, it disappeared. Absolute magic trick, but either way, Night Fury, they are no magician. They are just bringing the storm, bringing the fisticuffs, and what a way to walk forward. I mean, still 2 minutes on the clock. It's not the end of the world here for Franklin Regional, but now you have pretty much no ultimates. You'll have the Ramatra one here soon. You gotta win one of these next team fights to get to the second checkpoint.
I just don't know what happened to it.
Where did it go?
I'm just so confused. I don't think the whatever. Well, we'll figure that out later. Annihilation coming in from Banana Boat here is going to be nice, but the EMPs are almost available from Thin Blade. They can use that again with that EMP with the Death Blossom from Toasty Boy to keep everything going, as Thin Blade's already looking for an opportunity. So is Toasty Boy here, and there's going to come in. EMP's out, and down it goes again. They're just spinning to winning, and they are winning right now. A minute to go on the board.
Kill comes through. That combination, you called it, Joker, absolutely deadly to find it. And we just witnessed 2 plays of the game on this attacking side here, or defending side rather, from the Forest Hills squad. But Night Fury is going to be back up to 70% on their ultimate. It's probably only 1 or 2 more fights. I feel like for Franklin Regional, they're so close to getting to this next checkpoint, so close to getting themselves some more time, but they don't have anything to work with right now except that sound barrier.
Yeah, they got the sound barrier, which is all they really need, especially since if they can use it a little bit later, since Rayon Cran already invested theirs. They might not even need it here, but Night Fury is going to go... What? Oh. Night Fury alive for that long? They were literally 16 HP. And in the end, though, Forest Hills are going to be able to hold on. They still have their support ultimates as well.
Gonna be a run back in. I don't think Franklin Regional has the time to get there, but they switched up towards that hamster. Whale Rolls is gonna drop Rain Crane before they can get back as well. The Lucio just trying to contest, trying to give them one more fight, but the overtime fuse is in. The hamster is already down to a 5th HP. The hack comes in through as well, and now without a tank, there's pretty much nobody else to stall it on through. The May's gonna try and do the close range damage, at least go into the Ice Cube form, but Night Fury has got the fisticuffs to work. The blizzard right at the end. Rayon touches.
Yeah, Rayon is going to get there with a touch, but again, I think it is just a little too late. Overtime bar ticks away, and that is going to be that hold. Coming in on the streets phase of Shambali is not out of the world for a fuller hold, though, for Franklin Regional.
True, and they get to switch sides. They get to kind of show their prowess on both of them, and credit to Forest Hills really combining those ultimates together. It was Franklin Regional, we felt like, just snowballing team fights to start out, but they slowed down after getting the multi-team killed from that Death Blossom over and over. But now they've got a chance, like you said, if they can hold down some of the early defense on that first curve, cut down some of the time that Forest Hills have. I mean, Joker, we could be looking at a map number 3.
We really could. We really could indeed. It really just takes a little bit of a tweak coming in from Franklin Regional, and right now we are seeing a little change. I don't like the double flex support backline, but the damage that's going to be able to come out from them and the healing as well is going to be very difficult for Forest Hills to overcome, but they've given up their entire defense behind the deadly combo that we saw. There's no more sound barrier to perhaps save through that Death Blossom. They're gonna have to rely on Apollo landing the sleep dart and not getting hacked as well.
Either Apollo landing the sleep dart or Ray and Cran gonna have to be on point with that coalescence. Whatever it is here, they're gonna try and maybe use that turret damage to give them something nice, but Thinblade, even once again, is already up towards the high ground, providing problems and pushing them back into these corridors. Night Fury, we have seen their dominance on this Ramatra before, but without Toasty Boy, actually in a 5v4, not in their favor.
Yeah, not in the favor, but again, they are on the offense, so they've got an opportunity to just regroup here quite quickly.
Oh, Toasty falls. That's even more delay. That's a little bit more time. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it's only about 30 seconds off the clock. And this is one of the other problems you were talking about, that if you don't have the payload control in this map, it is hard to push through these open spaces. And Franklin Regional taking advantage of their range advantage right now.
Yeah, they really are. You might see a swap coming in from Forest Hills but no, they're just gonna rotate around the T house, try to take this high ground away from Franklin Regional, and they are gonna be able to do so, taking away that turret as well, but they need to be able to get the healing. They need to be able to keep Night Fury alive, and they are going to do that for the moment, but Toasty Boy trying to get into the area. They've got to be able to move the cart, and they're finally going to get some person on cart. But right now, Night Fury and company still trying to hold it out. The virus is going to come out, but Thinblade almost taken down. A nice javelin throw came in from Banana Boat. Terra Surge is coming in. Terra has the sound barrier if they do so want to invest it, but they might not need it with Banana Boat falling and Toasty Boy finding Fluffy Jr. as well with a follow-up coming through, and it looks like they're going to push forward and not have to invest in ult.
Actually, really surprised there. Forest Hills, how clean of a fight reset was that. 4 players got hit by that Terra Surge and taken down to about a 4th HP, but they were able to just heal up, and like you mentioned, not using an ultimate. They should be able to get to this first checkpoint, and they will have so many resources, Joker, to take this next fight.
Yeah, this is going to be so hard for Franklin Regional to hold on to this. They're going to have ultimates of their own, but not having that Terra Surge to combo things with, and especially now since the Nano Boost, now since the overclocks have been invested as well, and you haven't been able to find a pick quite just yet. Coalescence only being needed, and it can be used so quickly as the Death Blossom finds 2, but it might just be enough. However, there is still enough time to get a regroup coming in for Franklin Regional.
Time to respawn, get yourself back out for one more fight. But Joker, that's 3 times now we have seen that combination with Toasty Boy and Whale Rolls. Toasty, another triple for themselves. Which one will be the play of the game? We'll have to see. Forest Hills looking to end the series right here with one final push.
Yeah, they've got the Annihilation available, and that's going to be invested first and foremost. Sound Barrier going to be on the icing on the cake to get everyone up and healthy. Sleep Dart is going to be there, and well, they have also invested the Molten Core, so they might be able to keep things, something stopped up for the moment. They've got to be able to take care of Rayon Cran, and that might just be the end with Apollo going down. They have made the swap over to the Wrecking Ball to get to the point, but Banana Boat needs to stay on the point because it's only 0.61 meters away from the end. The hack did come on to Mateo. It's almost done, and well, there it goes. Banana Boat falls, and Forest Hills take the map.
Close one here on Jambale, but Forest Hills able to win it 2-1 at the end of the day. Let's take a look at the play of the game, and it's actually going over to Apollo. It is not the Death Blossom. It is actually the Coalescence here, and this was the one to get them towards the first point. It's just that extra pressure. All those little health bars, yes, the Ramatra got themselves in with the Annihilation, but the follow-up damage was there. So for Forest Hills, I mean, Apollo maybe stealing away some of the best Death Blossoms I've ever seen, but you know, is what it is.
I think we saw a stereotypical Moira play of the game right there, stealing credit for other people's things, because that pretty much was all Banana Boat's play of the game until the skill orb there at the end found 2. But still, a really good matchup between those two squads. Franklin Regional and Forest Hills were able to put on a show. Again, is right now for the battle for second place, and it looks like Forest Hills has the upper hand for the time being. However, there is still a couple more weeks to go here, Llama.
It's true. And I think for these two top teams, again, we always say it's nice to take a loss in the regular season rather in the postseason, that you have time to learn, you have time to still experiment with some different compositions. And I think finding those weaknesses and being able to iron them out before playoffs is absolutely fantastic. But you mentioned the team sitting currently at the top of that Division 2 leaderboard. Avoiding them at all costs is what you want to do in the Westmont Hilltop squad. For Forest Hills, of course, they're 3-1, which does leave them kind of on the same level as some of these other teams too, so they'll have to be clean in their final couple games if they want to hold down that second place spot.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to head to a break here, it would seem, and then we're going to be coming back with another matchup with Franklin Regional, but this time they are going to be playing Portage Area, still in Division 2.
Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Here with the 2-A rush now coming on, Sound Barrier going to be invested, Artillery Strike comes through, but Firelord's taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well, and gonna find not two.
Winber Area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber Area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding it down as they were able to beat Forest Hills by a score of 2-0. And it was Death, proving that the Fist of Doom is not to be slept on. 27 elimination, 26k damage, and 33k mitigated damage as well. Talk about leading the charge from the front.
Forest Hills can rotate onto the point, and rotate in and rotate and take the point away, but I keep punch. Death!
Oh, what a punch from Death!
My goodness, what a play!
And in Division 2, it was Westmont Hilltop on top as they were able to take down Richland in 2 straight maps. Gotta give a big shout out to Monkey, another tank with an MVP performance with a flawless series, 16 eliminations and 0 deaths.
EMP's onto Sands, EMP now online, comboed with the Death Awesome, it could be all 5.
Hopefully so. Detected and in with the EMP. Death Blossom finds everybody. Johnstown.
And Forest Hills were able to bounce back from a loss in their previous week to a dominant showing against Greater Johnstown. And it was Toasty Boy putting in that work. 31 eliminations and only 5 deaths as Forest Hills moves to 3-1 on the spring. And wrapping up our D2 action, it was Ferndale making light work of Moshannon Valley. And it was Astro doing it all. 28 eliminations, 7 deaths, 19k damage, and 20k healing. I'm not sure what kind of cookies Astro had in their backpack, but really putting the team on their back as Ferndale moved to 2-2. Now that we've seen how last week's action broke down, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's moved up, down, or out of our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. And y'all know we can't leave out Division 2 squads. Here's the power rankings for our D2 teams. And let's go ahead and take a look at those overall standings for Division 1 Overwatch so far. And let's go ahead and take a look in on Division 2 as well. Now, if there's a particular matchup that you're looking for, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for week number 5 so that we can make sure that we got y'all in the right spot to catch the action live. My matchup to watch this week is a battle of top 5 teams as we have Windber Area taking on Forest Hills. And we're starting up the second half of our spring semester. It's time for week number 5. Good luck to all of our competitors out there. And don't forget that we've got more content than ever coming y'all's way over on social media as well as over on YouTube. Top 5 plays have been spicy this year. So make sure you're getting involved, smacking the like button, leaving a comment, and don't forget to tell somebody about it. Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere. Game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out. Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Tune rush now coming on. Sound barrier going to be invested. Artillery strike comes through, but Firelord taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well and gonna find not two.
Winber area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding it down as they were able to beat Forest Hills by a score of 2-0. And it was Death, proving that the Fist of Doom is not to be slept on. 27 elimination, 26k damage, and 33k mitigated damage as well. Talk about leading the charge from the front.
Forest Hills can rotate onto the point, rotate in and rotate and take the point away, but I keep charge. Death!
Oh, what a punch from Death!
My goodness, what a play!
And in Division 2, it was Westmont Hilltop on top as they were able to take down Richland in 2 straight maps. Got to give a big shout out to Monkey, another tank with an MVP performance with a flawless series, 16 eliminations and 0 deaths.
EMP's onto Sands. EMP now online, comboed with the Death Blossom. It could be all 5.
Hopefully so. Detected and in with the EMP. Death Blossom finds everybody. Johnstown.
And Forest Hills were able to bounce back from a loss in their previous week to a dominant showing against Greater Johnstown. And it was Toasty Boy putting in that work. 31 eliminations and only 5 deaths as Forest Hills moves to 3-1 on the spring. And wrapping up our D2 action, it was Ferndale making light work of Moshannon Valley. And it was Astro doing it all. 28 eliminations, 7 deaths, 19k damage, and 20k healing. I'm not sure what kind of cookies Astro had in their backpack, but really putting the team on their back as Ferndale moved to 2-2. Now that we've seen how last week's action broke down, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's moved up, down, or out of our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. And y'all know we can't leave out Division 2 squads. Here's the power rankings for our D2 teams. And let's go ahead and take a look at those overall standings for Division 1 Overwatch so far. And let's go ahead and take a look in on Division 2 as well. Now, if there's a particular matchup that you're looking for, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for week number 5 so that we can make sure that we got y'all in the right spot to catch the action live. My matchup to watch this week is a battle of top 5 teams as we have Winber area taking on Forest Hills. And we're starting up the second half of our spring semester. It's time for week number 5. Good luck to all of our competitors out there. And don't forget that we've got more content than ever coming y'all's way over on social media as well as over on YouTube. Top 5 plays have been spicy this year. So make sure you're getting involved, smacking the like button, leaving a comment, and don't forget to tell somebody, to tell somebody, to tell somebody about it. Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
All right, everyone, welcome back. It is time to finish up our afternoon with our final match with Portage versus Franklin Regional.
It's gonna be a good one, Joker. And I gotta say, it's good and bad. We get a nice, good match to end off the day, but it's sad that we only get this final one. I love me some Overwatch, and this is going to be the last series, but it is going to be, like we said, a very, very good one, a back and forth one. And of course, we're about here in the middle of the season as well. So everything we talked about before with all those other teams, the seeding, the importance of playoffs, it is all still here at stake.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And both these two teams are coming off a match right before this. Franklin Regional was on this stream. And Portage Area was on a different one. And they're coming off a victory. So it'll be interesting to see how this will affect mentals going into this matchup.
Said, and both of them as well also coming off of a loss. So, you know, both of them kind of in this same spot where they don't want to take 2 losses on the day. Both of them showed some really, really good things. Both of their matches were actually really, really close as well. So it'll be exciting to see which one of these 2 teams is able to take the win. Of course, we're sticking with the map pool, sticking with Oasis to start us out.
Yeah, let's transition into the map here to see, well, how these are going to break out. As man cam, that was your cue to transition to the, there you go. Yeah, now we're going into this fight. I like this. It's definitely an interesting choice, as Mateo is gonna find Hacterold out of the fight. Interestingly enough, we have faced the Mace on the side of Portage area here. This probably means we're going to see a lot of Brigida from them, but right now it's not looking good for Portage area at the moment, as Banana Boat is going to find Mustang Proud, and well, so is Dockside going down.
Love all that consistent damage that the Bastion can provide for yourself. For Portage, they dropped their tank. They still have some players trying to contest around that point. And more importantly, like we said, this is Oasis, but this is also one of the iterations we have not seen yet today. It's been the exact same 2. It's been 2 O's as well. So it's nice and interesting to have this iteration too.
Okay, AOS Neo gonna stay alive. For the moment, but I'll see if they stay alive for much longer. It's already going to be having to deflect up, but trying to get into this point at the moment. Going to have to deal with that the healing from Fluffy Jr., who's on the Yari, as well as Mustang Proud has gone on to it. Already trying to push in is Dockside, who's made the swap over to the Ramatra as well, but gonna be caught out for the moment. There's the Grodic Flux, or no, the Kinetic Grasp, sorry. Now, with the Dragon Blade coming in, and Neo's gonna get caught out as the Grodic Flux now comes in, and that's just gonna be a nice little combo coming in from Franklin Regional. Take everyone down from Portage area.
Beautiful. Take out the mop and bucket, cleaning the floors with them, and actually able to get so many kills. So both of these 2 teams actually running the Alari. Those healing pylons we're seeing be so important in those team fights. For Franklin, though, you're talking about the percentage going back up their way. They had already built up a large, about 50% percentage lead before they gave that point on over. So now with it even building further up, if you are this other side of Portage, you're actually running out of time. You don't have that many fights left.
Yeah, with the rally coming in from Face the Mace, this is a perfect chance for Portage area to get into this, especially taking off Banana Boat down to the side. A nice play coming in. That's a nice engage off the back of the rally from Face the Mace.
They give the point back over. So yeah, Face the Mace finds their angle, actually finds a triple kill for themselves. So up to 94% for Franklin. Portage, though, fighting their way on back, and they're actually close to some of these very critical ultimates. You talk about that Death Blossom. We saw it in the previous series, how many you can take out at a time. And especially with this upper platform, it's hard to poke and prod out that Reaper, and he can just drop down at any moment and take a beautiful ultimate.
As now Mateo is gonna look to come back in. Sunnybro has the overclock to come in here. As Dockside and Hector are gonna be able to combine for 4 or 3, and then, well, the rest of them come crumbling down afterwards.
Full team wipe and investing some of those ultimates. We were literally just talking about those breakpoints were hit. Dockside and Hectorode will be able to pop those quickly, and Hectorode will take the easy way out.
That's unfortunate. Now this is gonna give a pretty much a free opening, besides the Captive Sun coming in from Mustang Proud. The overclock is going to be coming in early on, though, from Sunny Bro. But you got to keep everyone healthy if you are Portage before you can invest as Captive Sun, and that might just not happen as Face the Mace is going to be caught out by Mateo's grenade. Captive Sun coming in, and the Dragon Blade not going to find anything. The Captive Sun is going to take Mateo down. The follow-up could definitely still be there. Dockside is low, though, and the Nano Boost on to Banana Boat, and the follow-up there coming in from the rest of Franklin Regional will be able to take the point back at 94%, and they might be able to hold on to this. There might not be a chance for a touch as they are going to rock them away and take the first round of Oasis.
First round going Franklin's way, but how about 194% in total between these two teams? And honestly, that Reaper death there right at the end, like you talked about, Joker, just gave them a 4v5, immediately gave them access right on towards that point, and they had saved some of those ultimates from that previous fight. Either way, that's only the first round of this map. As we go into the second one, I'm hoping we get all three of these iterations of Oasis.
Yeah, could be interesting indeed, especially with the swaps we're seeing come in from Portage area. Dockside going over to the Zarya, which is going to be really nice to get into the face of Banana Boat, who's still sticking on that Sigma.
A bit of a switch up. We'll see for Dockside on towards that Zarya. Face the Mace had a lot of really good side pressure in that last game. We'll see if they're able to use that shield to help protect off the team. But we are going in towards the second round. Like we said for Franklin, we're able to take the first one. Joker, if they can take the second one, the first map would be theirs.
Yeah, it would indeed. And, well, they've made a swap of their own. Banana Boat making the swap over to the Ramatra instead of the Sigma. Going to be a lot closer of a map, especially once you get into that square, that octagon, if you will. But now they're going to have to rotate in. Banana Boat is going to get get quite low. Going to have to force that Nemesis form to get that over health and to go in now. They've already lost Face the Mace and AO as Nao, and that should be enough for Franklin Regional to fully take control at this point now.
Really good control. First control here for Franklin Regional, and gotta say, actually secondary control after they gave over about 10%. Usually when you see that, when you're stuck at that choke point to not be able to get in towards the point, it is really, really tough, especially with that Reaper just poking and prodding, but they did a really good job of splitting up that team fight, and now they're going to be able to hold on to it. But we remember that first round, it was so close between these two teams.
Yeah, it really was. It's Mateo gonna get caught out there by Hackthrold already, though, and it's gonna allow Dockside to get some charge and now rotate to the point. They need to build up to this Graviton Surge quickly, though. Not really doing too hot at the moment, but it's only about 40 odd seconds, a minute even. But Sunny Bro finding Mustang Proud. The trade back on a Fluffy Jr. though, so there's still definitely a chance for Portage to hold on, but a nice anti-nade coming in from Apollo seals the deal.
Boat, another great walk forward performance off of, like you mentioned, the really good utility usage from Apollo. Gotta say, Neo has been on point, though, on this kind of side angle to pressure towards Mateo, using that deflect to put the bullets right back into the Bastion. However, this one's starting to already build up to some great percentage for Franklin, up to 65 already, and if they keep on holding, again, it's gotta be these two ultimates that you feel like Portage needs to invest right now.
Well, there's the blade coming in from AO. It's Neo, and gonna be able to take Sunny out. Annihilation going to be popped up as well with the rally coming in. They're trying to invest everything to hold on to this with that artillery strike coming in. The nano boost is there as well. They've thrown the kitchen sink at them, and they're going to be able to hold on to it and might be able to hold on to this map because of it.
I'll say the
Especially
reaction time.
Oh,
yeah. Take everybody out. Take the support down as well. Dockside's going to switch on up towards the hamster ball to get them back in. However, it was just an annihilation popped as soon as they saw that blade from the other side. The overtime fuse already dipping down in towards its casing, and it is going to hit all the way towards the end. And Franklin going to be able to take this first map.
Yeah, Franklin taking map number 1 and looking good after a disappointing previous series. Coming back strong and taking a 2-0 already on the first map to try to put out that last series in their mind and get a 2 of their own after this.
This little 2-0, and like you said, just kind of the improvements from map 1 to map number 2 for Franklin, closing things out a little bit quicker, giving them that little bit of space at the beginning, saying, okay, you can take the point, but we'll have a little bit cleaner of that team fight. Now, of course, that is only the first map. We're going to move over to Shambali for the second one. Franklin has an opportunity to close things out to 0, and we talked about a Joker going in towards this one at the beginning of it. Both these two teams coming off of a loss, already played today. It would feel really good for Franklin to end off the day on a win.
Yeah, it really would. It really would indeed, especially since you've given up your first loss of the season to Forest Hills. Now going into this, you want to try to keep as close to them as possible, and getting that victory here, keeping yourself to 4-1 will keep you tied with Forest Hills.
Try and stay up there, and like we said, get the best seed possible for playoffs to try and avoid some of those other teams on the other side of the bracket. For Portage, though, I think they had some really good team fights, and obviously, of course, in this next game, they need to step on up in this next map. If they can win Shambali, again, we haven't really seen too many push maps here in TEC. It always seems to go to a 2-0. I would love to end out the day, send these kids the Easter break on a 3-map series.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see indeed. I'm interested to, though, see what Portage has cooking. They have changed up their comps to at least try to match what Franklin is running, or at least counter them out. So I'm interested to see what they do on this next map. Especially with it being Escort, with it being such long sight lines, with it being Shambali yet again. Do we see them stick or go back to the Ramatra? Do we go to the Sigma? Or are we just going to see something completely different in general?
See what those selections are. I personally, I think, like you have said, the barrier hero is really good to get yourself space, but we've also seen creativity from a lot of these other teams where they're pulling out the Doomfist, or they're pulling out something that can get access towards the backline easily. Again, this first little corner is going to be interesting. Of course, for Escort, for those of you that don't know, we'll get to switch sides halfway through. Both teams will get a chance at offense and defense, so maybe that change comes in the middle there when you want to play something different on defense, but I would actually be excited if they go with this Roadhog.
And now, let's see. The Roadhog is definitely an interesting choice. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice. I don't know how I feel about this at all. We shall see.
You got the hook. You got some extra tools as well from your DPS. It looks like going to be the Torbjorn from Dockside. So, of course, it is going to be interesting to see as well. This Torbjorn with the turret, we saw so much chip damage in some of our previous series, but doesn't output maybe as much damage as Hectorode has been doing on this Reaper. So we'll see this kind of side angle pressure from the turret, but of course, Portage starting on defense. Let's see how they deal with this first push.
We shall see. It's going to be really difficult with the damage that's going to be coming out from Portage without the plays coming in. They've already found out Hackfield, and they're looking for more. Banana Boat is going to go in, going to be caught out, but has that the bubble to stave off some damage for now. But still, they're not really able to take these fights. A nice hook, though, but the bubble is going to block up any kills to come through onto Apollo, but they're just having to force back his Portage right now.
And you see the amount of damage that Franklin is putting out because they got their Zarya charged up early, up to 70, now down to 60, but still being able to put the pressure on the rest of this team so quickly. And you talk about the damage output, it's just not there to match. Hectorode was able to be dropped down first in both of those fights, and Torbjorn just does not output enough damage for you to match. A 60 charge Zarya running straight at you. It's already this first point captured from Franklin Regional.
Yeah, first point already coming through, and yeah, they're looking to keep things going their way as Apollo and Co are pushing up even forward. As Sunny Bro takes that Hacktoreld, and AOS Neo still on this Roadhog at the moment. They made the swap in the midst of that map, bringing Dockside over to the DPS role as Banana Boat's found Mustang Proud. This is not looking good for him here. Banana Boat so high charge. Amp Matrix invested here early, just going to keep them at bay for as long as they can with more and more shots. As they are going to rotate back for the time being around AO's Neo, trying to get to the point. They've got the whole hog, going to be coming in and investing that, but they're going to be just blown up pretty much. Whole hog still going to be getting value, but no picks coming through, and that is going to be that. The Discord Aura does its job as Franklin Regional keep taking these fights.
It's just so hard to push on in. Yes, you get the whole hog. It looks good, but this has been... That was a 100 charge Zarya for the entirety of that fight, dipping back down to 70, but it is just so hard to take these team fights when all of that damage is flying out left, right, and center. You don't have anything to match it. Ayo's Neo is sticking on the Roadhog, at least for now, and Hectorwood is dropped again. These flanking angles they have not been able to find, and credit to Franklin, they've been very, very cognizant of their flank.
They have indeed. The artillery strike though coming in from it's Mateo, and Hardy forcing them back again. Dockside made the swap over to the Bastion to try to counter out the Bastion of Mateo as well, but it's just not working. As that nice transcendence keeping them forward, pushing them forward, getting all the health in the world that Franklin Regional needs. As they're just non-stop right now.
Banana Boat and the rest of the team, not a single death to show for right now, and this Zarya has just been absolutely destroying the backline, still up to that 80 charge, popping the bubble at the perfect time, and the ultimates as well going to fly on through. It's a last stand effort. Franklin, so much time on the board and only 0.4 of a meter. They've got the window as well, and everything they need. Hectorwood got 2 back with that Death Blossom and turned the entire fight.
Yeah, it's huge. That is great stuff. Able to hold on, but they have to hold on for 4 more minutes, Llama.
Not an easy task. It definitely isn't, especially Banana Boat is going to re-enter this fight with their ultimate. So could be an immediate turn on back. The nice thing is, at least for Portage, they'll push the payload back a little bit, give themselves some breathing room, but they have to play perfect from here on out.
Yeah, they have to play perfect, and already losing Neo. The Graviton Surge is just going to be all that is needed for Franklin Regional to win out this all 3 points. Just getting the last kill onto Mustang Proud after dealing with that healing pylon as Franklin Regional complete all 3 points with 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the board.
Of extra time in the bank in case things do go the way of Portage here, but you know, we get to switch sides. That's the nice thing about this escort mode. And for Portage, you do have to push it all the way to the end. However, you were taking some good fights. I think as long as you can shut down the Zarya, which I think was the biggest problem, it was just outputting so much damage that they could never take a fair 5v5 fight. We'll see if Neo does change up on the Roadhog as well.
We shall see. I think that it would be the smart decision to swap off the Roadhog, but it is all a game of choice at the moment, and Neo is going to be going over to the Orisa now. It's Banana Boat making the choice to go with Mauga.
Damage. I mean, like you said, it's not the manga a few weeks ago where it's absolutely burning people down, but still has a lot of damage output. I think it's going to be a good choice here to try and at least delay for some time, because at this moment you're talking about Portage needs to play perfect, right? They need to get towards the end. I mean, they don't have to play 100% perfect, but they need to push this cart all the way to the end. I think Mauga is something that can surprise you in the damage category.
Oh, it can just do so much damage, really. I mean, they just got to be able to they've just got to be able to do it. Right now, we'll see how they can deal with it. Dockside on this Bastion is going to be a difficult sense though to deal with, especially without that health or without that shield. But right, it's a matter of time as they're already trying to push forward, getting the fire already started. Franklin Regional are going to be fighting it out, though. Dockside, a nice anti-nade, though, coming in from Apollo. Might just win them this fight off the back of it, but they need to keep the healing on to Banana Boat. Still, it's Neo going down. Is just going to finish it off. They're going to be able to go in with their slam and take all the space in the world, as Franklin Regional are going to be able to take this first fight.
I really love that play. Banana Boat just pestering, and as soon as you get the pick, jumps forward, cleans up the rest of the team, and cuts more time off the board here for Portage area. 3 minutes still on the clock for them to push towards this first checkpoint. It is going to be the Orb of Discord right on top of AO. It's Neo's head. So Banana Boat just continuing this pestering, but Sunny, Banana Boat, both taken relatively low.
Yeah, and that's the problem with running the Ana. It is solo healing, really, as they've already lost 2, but they still have the nano boost and they're still able to hold on, but not for much longer. Mateo is going to find a pick on to face the Mace, who did invest the rally in the midst of all of that, which is going to be a nice little consolation prize in the grand scheme of things.
Get at least something out of their opponents. However, the fight for Portage, like we talked about, this squad able to keep it close on that first map. We remember back towards that first point, so much percentage on both sides. However, this push will be stalled on up. They're not going to get this first checkpoint for free. And you look at the ultimates available on the other side. I'm looking at it's Mateo. Might be able to close things out quick with a Death Blossom.
That Blossom is going to come in from Mateo, is going to take down Mustang Proud. They are going to get stunned up in the meanwhile, but it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things as Franklin come in and take back the fight.
Able to use those ultimates, actually use only one of those ultimates. It was Mateo's ultimate. We were calling it through and through. Now they've got an opportunity to try and shut things down. Of course, the spawn advantage going to still somewhat be in Portage's favor. However, they have a little bit longer way to walk and running out of time here, not only for this first point, but for this entirety of the map. Again, they need to push this all the way to the end if they want to force overtime.
Yeah, they've got to be able to they've got to win this fight. Sunny Bro already used that overclock. Death Blossom came in from Hackrolled, but it's just not going to find anything. Thanks to the Transcendence of Fluffy Jr. Another nice anti-nade coming in from Apollo's really going to solidify it all now. Under 60 seconds to go for Portage area.
Not a lot of time, but they are right on the cusp of maybe some big ultimates. If they could get this Terra Surge, combine it with other things, and make sure they're not funneling in one by one by one, the big problem is they aren't going to have that payload for cover. 30 seconds is definitely enough time to take the fight, but Hackroad will not have the ultimate, and they have to walk through this open to try and get back to it.
Yeah, but let's see here. Hackrolled already on the high ground, trying to take Banana Boat in a 1v1, but that's just not going to help. The cardiac play comes in. There's the cage fight coming in and face the Mace, and Ayo, it's Neo are going to be caught in the midst of it all, and that is going to be that. The cage fight seals the deal. Franklin Regional take the map and the series 2-0.
Gonna be a 2-0 to finish us out for the day. Franklin will end up with an even 1-1 record after taking this win. But let's see this play of the game right at the end. It is Mateo on the Bastion. Mateo showed their ability on multiple different heroes in this game, but this was the game where they just had so much damage. Not only do they get a fantastic Zarya ultimate, but it was the combination of both the 100 charge Zarya and that Bastion alternative form. Some good damage there at the end, and Franklin really good stuff to kind of clean things up all across both of those maps. But man, Portage gave them a run for their money.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, again, I think it's just like I said, for a lot of these teams, it's a tweak here and there for Portage, and the series goes a different way. So hopefully they can figure it out going forward, finishing the spring series on a high note.
It's a hope. I mean, I think for all these teams, and it's all about that improvement and more learning the other things. That it's not only about the game. Yes, winning is nice, but also those communication factors, learning the out-of-game practices just as much as the in-game. I do gotta say, unfortunately, last series of the day, all of them really, really good and really great action. No games tomorrow for anybody watching TEC. No middle school Rocket League. I believe we resume next week, next Wednesday, because we do have some Easter break for the kids to go get some rest. So I'm excited for the Easter break, and Joker, I'm really excited to see all these teams keep improving for playoffs.
Yeah, I'm also excited for the Easter break because I'm going to the south to get out of the cold northeast weather. So I will not be here next week, unfortunately. So, but I'll see you all in 2 weeks. But other than that, Mr. Llama, I don't think we have anything more to say. But thank you all for watching. It's been me, Joker's Ransom, him, Llama. Huge shout out to Man Man on the production. And wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day.
Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. We're pretty well halfway through our TEC high school spring semester, week number 5, and y'all already know how we do on Wednesday. We Overwatch. But before we jump into this week's action, let's go ahead and take a look at how last week's games broke down.
Here with the Tune Rush now coming on. Sound Barrier going to be invested. Artillery Strike comes through, but Firelord taken down already, and that might be it. The Jenga tower is crumbling down.
And starting off in our Division 1 action, it was Penn Trafford able to come out on top with a 2-0 victory over West Branch. And it was Peridot King leading the way with 16 elimination and almost 15k damage as Penn Trafford moves to 2-1 on the season.
Synergy, making sure that have that same target acquisition as well. And now Ramatra up into the face with this shield. The ult coming out as well and gonna find not two.
Winber area were able to keep their perfect semester alive. Not only have they not dropped the series, but they haven't even dropped the map as they now move to 4-0.
And they just continue to rinse and repeat.
Oh, and it looks like the EMP comes up onto the Bastion in the back.
And speaking of not dropping a map, Central Cambria were able to sweep Ferndale to keep their perfect semester alive as well. I'll be interested to see if Central Cambria and Winber area can stay perfect until they eventually meet one another in the playoffs. And to wrap up our Division 1 action, it's Boyertown holding it down as they were able to beat Forest Hills by a score of 2-0. And it was Death, proving that the Fist of Doom is not to be slept on. 27 elimination, 26k damage, and 33k mitigated damage as well. Talk about leading the charge from the front.
Forest Hills can rotate onto the point, rotate in and rotate and take the point away, but I keep punch. Death.
Oh, what a punch from Death.
My goodness, what a play.
And in Division 2, it was Westmont Hilltop on top as they were able to take down Richland in 2 straight maps. Gotta give a big shout out to Monkey, another tank with an MVP performance with a flawless series, 16 eliminations and 0 deaths.
EMPs onto Sands, EMP now online, comboed with the Death Blossom, it could be all 5.
Hopefully so. Detected and in with the EMP. Death Blossom finds everybody. Johnstown.
And Forest Hills were able to bounce back from a loss in their previous week to a dominant showing against Greater Johnstown. And it was Toasty Boy putting in that work. 31 eliminations and only 5 deaths as Forest Hills moves to 3-1 on the spring. And wrapping up our D2 action, it was Ferndale making light work of Moshannon Valley. And it was Astro doing it all. 28 eliminations, 7 deaths, 19k damage, and 20k healing. I'm not sure what kind of cookies Astro had in their backpack, but really putting the team on their back as Ferndale moved to 2-2. Now that we've seen how last week's action broke down, let's go ahead and take a look and see who's moved up, down, or out of our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. And y'all know we can't leave out Division 2 squads. Here's the power rankings for our D2 teams. And let's go ahead and take a look at those overall standings for Division 1 Overwatch so far. And let's go ahead and take a look in on Division 2 as well. Now, if there's a particular matchup that you're looking for, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for week number 5, so that we can make sure that we got y'all in the right spot to catch the action live. My matchup to watch this week is a battle of top 5 teams, as we have Winber area